Okay, today, we're making a PV charm tier list. The difference here is that I'm only including charms that actually have effects for PV. So if a charm isn't here, even though some of you think it's good for PV, then in my opinion, it's either not actually good for PV, or it's just better used as merge. So yeah, this is basically also a charm merge tier list. And at the end of the video, I'll calculate the damage for the S tier charms as well. Swarm, this one is decent. Bosses and monsters can't attack the dragonfly, although it can still die to our attacks. It's also much better when used with long-range critical builds, like Quincy Rifle. So I'm putting it in tier B. Perfect Flash, tier D. Why? Because this only works out of combat. Once you're in combat, the charm stops working, and it has a 60-second cooldown. Sure, the damage can reach the hundreds, but you can only use it once per fight. It's just not worth it, and it's not consistent enough. Golem, this one is actually really good for sustain. The only downside is the 45-second cooldown. For PvE, it's solid. It doesn't increase your damage, but it helps your defense survive a few enemy hits if you miss a parry, so I'd put it in tier B. Pretty decent. Close and personal. Yeah, this one doesn't really need much explanation. It straight up increases your weapon damage. Tier B solid. Domination. This charm increases your AP by 0.15x. It's definitely more consistent than Perfect Flash because as long as you don't get hit, your damage keeps going up. It's only 0.15x, though, which is why I'm putting it in tier C. Warrior Spirit. This charm increases your basic attack damage by 17.5%. The downside is that you can't flash step or manual rushdown. Now for PvE. Manual rushdown isn't that important, but not being able to flash step is definitely annoying. Soul Snatcher. This might be the only real PvE keto charm. It lets you execute weaker mobs really easily with keto, but the reason it's only in tier B is because it doesn't work on bosses. If it could execute bosses too, I'd easily put this charm in tier A. Blazing Spirit. As long as you can parry, you get 10% more damage. What makes it interesting is that if you parry multi-hit attacks in a very short time, Blazing Spirit can actually stack. That means you can consistently get the 10% damage boost after just 3 to 5 hits. It's really good, so I'm putting it in tier A. Struggler's Spirit. This charm increases both your damage and defense, but the problem is that it only works when you're at low HP. Tier B. Haze of Death. This charm applies Curse to your enemy for 7 seconds, with a 50-second cooldown. Curse makes enemies take 30% more damage, which is actually really strong if you're running a full Necromancer build, something like Rifle, Swarm, Haze of Death, and Necromancer abilities. If you're farming in a group, Haze of Death can also boost your team's damage. Personally, I don't like the very short duration and the very long cooldown. 7 seconds of uptime with a 50-second cooldown is just too much downtime. Curtain Call. This is tier A. Easily. Even though it got nerfed against bosses, it doesn't really matter because the lifesteal effect still feels really strong for PV. Flawless plus Heavenly. This is obviously tier S, and in my opinion the best merge charm combo if you want the highest M1 PV damage. This setup can deal 67 damage in a single hit. That 67 damage is with mode active. Without mode, it's around 60 damage per hit. That means in just 4 hits, you can deal around 240 damage. Quick Crit plus Heavenly. Even though Quick Crit got nerfed, I'm still using Crit plus Heavenly right now and honestly, it's still really good. It got reduced from 40% to 25%, but the combo still performs well. The current Quick Crit plus Heavenly damage is 11.5 smite, 46 damage from M1. So in total, after 4 hits, the damage comes out to around 195.5 damage. Blade Master plus Heavenly. This is also tier S, but right now, I'd actually rank it above Quick Crit. Here's why. Its 4-hit damage looks like this. 0.4, 95, 4, 95. So the total damage in 4 hits is 198 damage. Side Character plus Giant Fighter. This is probably the cheapest PvE charm combo. It's not hard to get at all. So if you want something budget-friendly for PvE, this is a pretty decent option. So the final tier list looks like this. 1. Flawless plus Heavenly. 2. Blade Master plus Heavenly. 3. Quick Crit plus Heavenly. For the next video, I'm going to make a PvE build for Quincy, since I've already made PvE builds for Soul Reaper and Hollow.